Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised, and, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting. But also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
The Madness Comic Network and comic-related madness proudly presents Madness Tuesday Morning Brew. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
I push all the buttons sometimes, and that's what happened. I forgot to play my own ad. So, yay, Path of the Pale Rider. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Apparently, I need more caffeine in my life. I'm your hostess, Laurie Calcaterra, writer, creator of Path of the Pale Rider. Your hostess with the hottest coffee around who needs more coffee. So just some quick updates about what's going on in Laurie's land. Path of the Pale Rider number 5 is back in full swing. We're getting new pages, and I'm ready to go. I'm ordering stickers this week, so that early bird sticker is getting ordered, and an extra sticker for every single physical backer. It's a surprise. It's a surprise. Normally, I ask an additional question in the survey, just a silly question, and that usually determines what you get, but this is such a cool idea. Everybody gets one of these. Sorry. You'll be happy when you get it. You'll know what it is. So I'm excited for that. Thank you again to Pastime Comics. I was there on Saturday. I got to set up a table and just hang out. They had a huge sale. There was a ton of people that came through. So we had a blast. I was set up there with books and trades, merch, cookies. Their people just loved the cookies. I sold out macaroons and I sold most of the chocolate chip cookies, a few bottles of hot sauce. So I come prepared. I bring all the things. And I just wanted to say, ooh, good morning. Good morning, Lou. Of course. Hello, Lou. What is this morning you speak of? Either you've been up early and it's not morning for you anymore, or what is it still more like what's going on here, Gramps? You gotta let me know. What else? Oh, just so you know, I'm going to be going to a couple cons in October here in Dallas area. I'm going to be going to Dallas Fan Fest. That is, I think what is that weekend? The 19th and 20th, the 20th and 21st. Dang it, calendar. Where are you? October 19th and 20th. And then I'm going to be at Cowtown Comic-Con in Fort Worth the following weekend, the 26th and 27th. So if you want to come see me in person, you want to pick up a bottle of hot sauce. I'm super excited about Cowtown because a lot of the variant artists for the covers that I have are going to be there. So William Russell, David Sanchez, Lacey Kruger, Lauren Gibson, Ken Salinas, they all have Path of the Pale Rider variant covers, and they're going to be at Cowtown. So what a cool way to get the signature of the author and the cover artist at the same place. Gilbert Perez will be there as well. And if he's not sitting next to me, Chris Hayes, I'm going to riot. So, so you can hang out with us there. And one last thing before I bring in our guest, if you haven't heard about the Karen show, the Killer Karen show, the first episode premiered last week, Friday, with Chris Brown. The first episode is called Christopher Brown Pants. Karen had surprisingly found another victim, aka guest, with George Medina, and that is going to be on this Friday. So that show airs every other Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a pre-recorded show. It's 30 minutes or less, so it's not super long, but it's chock full of just antics. So if you ever wondered what a podcast would look like hosted by an actual Karen, this is it. So an actual Karen, blonde wig and all, sunglasses and her iced coffee, interviews indie comic creators and artists and the chaos that ensues. So make sure you tune in this Friday and every other Friday to that shenanigans, because we have such a good time. Doc, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Rosales Comics. If you haven't caught Killer Karen yet, go watch it. It's just ridiculous. And a disclaimer, it is just a joke. Like, I let people promote stuff, but anything else that we say on that show is just a joke. It's not true opinions of anybody on the show. Okay. Just as a reminder, don't come for us. It's just a joke. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in our guest for today. I am so excited to talk to this gentleman because he is, I guess, newer in his journey. He has his Kickstarter running right now. And I have all sorts of questions to ask. So everybody say hello to Matthew. Good morning, Matthew. How do you pronounce your last name, just so I don't butcher it?
It's like cake, but with an R. Kreke.
Kreke? I was like, your last name really could be said a bunch of different ways. We could say
yeah,
Kreke.
It has been.
Like
Krakey, cracky, crack. But it's Kreke.
Great. Okay, I got it. So Matthew, thanks for coming on today. You aren't our original guest. We had a guest today, but unfortunately had some family circumstances come up. And Matthew was so gracious to hop in and take the spot. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to talking to you because you still got stars in your eyes. You're ready to go. So we always start the show introducing you. And then, of course, I would love to hear your origin story. How did you get started in comics? When did you start reading them? And tell us what you were reading and how that kind of got you to where you are today. We got plenty of time. Take your time. Tell us the story.
Well, honestly, it all started I don't even remember how I started in comics. I think I read them at a local. I bought some at a local mall, and
Yeah.
I don't remember much. It was years ago, but
Do you remember what you bought?
I remember it was mostly Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then I got out of comics for a long time, and then years later, I found out that Godzilla had his own comic on IDW, so I got back into that. And then recently, I started reading these Buffy the Vampire Slayer comics, and I also bought some Kolsak the Night Stalker comic. Kolsak, if you didn't know, is the show that inspired X-Files.
Oh. Wait, I have a question. So about the Buffy comics, were the comics first or was the TV show first? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure these are epilogues to the TV show, meaning they come after.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just wondering. Nerds, you know what, Chad? Karen's coming for you. We'll just say that much. You fit in right in with us, nerds, sir. So takes one to know one. All right. So then you were what's the series called? That's kind of the precursor to X-Files.
Kolsak the Night Stalker.
Okay.
It's basically about this reporter who keeps finding out that the murders he's investigating are paranormal in nature. But no one believes him, so he ends up having to kill the monster all by himself by the end of the episode.
Oh my god.
And he's kind of a sarcastic jerk, but in the end, he's the one left with having to kill the monster, so you like him anyway.
Yeah. I like sarcastic bastards as characters. I have a few of them in my story.
Yeah.
They make it an interesting read.
Yeah.
Haiku.
I really liked the show, but it only lasted one season.
Aw. How many issues were in the season?
Oh, this is a TV show.
Oh, the TV show. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about
it was back in the 70s, but they got a comic book recently.
Oh.
That I started reading about 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I've got 4 of those comics, and I haven't been able to find any more. They're by Moonstone.
See, that's my thing, though. It's because that's like something that's not as mainstream. You really got to look sometimes. But there's hidden gems out there where it's like, I really like this, but I can't find more of it. And then you got to scour the internet. Karen can suck it. You can't even spell Karen right, Chad. Try again.
In high school, I started writing stories.
Okay.
And I don't know if any of them were good or not. I don't think they were, but they seemed to entertain my teachers, so I kept going. And in college, what
genre were you writing? Like,
I'd say sci-fi, but very, very out there sci-fi. Like, so out there, I don't think anyone would buy it. Like, stories about guys finding lucky pennies and getting rich, or stuff like that. Just really weird stuff that off the rails. But anyway,
I think that's what people want to read. We don't want to read a story about Laurie Calcaterra going to the donut shop and eating donuts. Like, who cares?
Well, I get that, but I'm just saying there's only so far you can go without thinking, wait a minute, this makes no sense.
But those are the best. Sometimes they lead to the best places. You got to let that mind just wander.
Oh, I didn't really have much faith in my early stories, but who knows? Maybe I should revisit some of them.
I think that's where we all start too. It's like there's a story and it's like, do you want to read this? Isn't that funny how a lot of time it's, will you stop? Will you stop it? Seriously, Chad. No one wants to hear about your feet fetish here. And no, we just don't. But I feel like a lot of times, Matthew, it takes someone else to have faith in you for you to start having faith in yourself, where it's like, okay, I didn't let anybody read my story for a long time. And finally, when I did, people were reacting positively to the story. And it wasn't until then that I even considered doing something with it. Was that the same thing for you? Like, who was the first person that read your story?
I can't really remember. I think it was my teacher, Mr. Gann, who actually supported it the most.
Yeah. What was some
Which
of the
is
things that
ironic because most of my teachers I did not get along with. He was really the only one that I liked at the time.
sometimes school can be a challenge. It depends. It
Yeah.
depends. So, all right. So you started writing in high school. Where are you
And then
now?
after when I went to college, I changed my trajectory and tried to become a video game developer.
Ooh.
But I realized that to make a good video game, you got to put a lot more effort than I was willing to put in.
Yeah.
It took me years to realize that I have to hire some people to actually get a project done. And after I looked into how much that would cost, I was like, nope. So I took the game I was working on and I turned it into Beacon, the Hero of Heartland.
Nice.
It was
Put that back
my
up. Let me
first
see.
published. It was my first published work.
That's is it a graphic novel? Individual
It's just
issue? How
a
many?
novella.
Novella.
It's a
okay.
novella. It's like
Is
it's just words on a paper. But
got
it was the first thing I felt confident enough to actually publish.
cool. And what
You
route
know?
did you choose to go for publishing on that one?
Self-publishing, if
Self-published.
that's what you mean.
I mean, that's what we all do.
I used Drafted Digital and Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark distributes the paperbacks and Drafted Digital distributes the digital ones.
Gotcha. That's cool. I didn't realize you had something before what you're working on now.
Yeah.
But still, that's super encouraging. Now you have this will be your second project, or was there another one I'm
Well,
not aware of?
technically third. I have a
Yeah.
prequel to this one that's available only on well, actually now it's available on Amazon and all those places you buy books digitally. It's called Origin, but a prequel to Beacon, the Hero of Heartland.
That's funny. We're talking about your origins.
Yeah. And yeah, that's
It's
What
ironic.
I-
I was going to say irony and my brain froze.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you release Beacon? What year did that publish?
last July, I believe.
All right, so
July
you're moving right
3rd.
along.
What?
That's great. My anniversary is in July as well. That's when I
Yeah.
keep track of mine. So last July, so you were already in production for the Night Slayers, or have you written that
No,
one?
I
prior?
had this idea in my head about paranormal investigation in a story of some kind for years, and then I met this guy who works on board games and card games in Mattoon, and we got to be friends, and he introduced me to an artist, and I thought, hey, might as well hire him to turn this story into a comic. The script I had into a comic. And over the course of about a week or so, or was it longer? I don't remember. I ended up with this whole script that I ended up sending over to him and getting illustrated. And this is the result.
Oh my gosh, it's already done.
Well, this is a prototype. But
yeah, but that means that it's done. Like
Yep.
the art is complete. That's
Yep,
amazing.
it's completely illustrated. The only change we are going to make is that if we get enough money, meaning if we hit one of the stretch goals, we're going to turn it into a color comic.
Yes. That's what
But
we
other
did
than
too.
that,
That's
it'll
the way to
remain
go.
black and white.
I mean, there's an appeal for both, Matthew, because I did the same thing. My first issue was black and white. And then I let Marco color like 2 pages inside of the comic, and I showed those off just to kind of get a feel like if my story was in color, this is what it would look like. and got positive reaction from that. I was like, okay, so this is what we need to do in order to produce this in color. So then my readers and my audience, my backers all came out and we were able to make it happen. So issue 1 was black and white, issue 2 was in color, and then everything's been in color since then. But yeah, that was really interesting. But there's some people out there that were just in love with the black and white. They still are. In fact, someone asked me like, hey, would you ever go back and re-release issues 1 through 4 in just black and white? And I was like, that sounds like a lot of work. Like, no, I don't want to. But people are interested in that. So it's like you got to weigh your options here, whether you want to do color or black and white. Depends on the story. But let's take a look. I'm going to bring up the Kickstarter. I'm going to drop the link here. And Chad, you're out of hand, man. What are you doing? Shockingly, in order to make anything good, you have to put in a lot of effort. Unless you're a Karen, complaining is natural to them. Chad is trying to get on the Karen show. We were talking about it last night. All right, so where am I going? I'm going to private chat. I'm going to copy this real quick. I have the link for everybody, so if they want to follow along as we're going through the campaign, here is the link. Ta-da!
We need one more. We need one more pledge to get to 20% of our goal.
Oh my gosh. And we were talking about, Matthew and I were talking about this before the show. It's like, I hate seeing a campaign just sit at 99 anything. My OCD kicks in. I'm like, it needs to be just an even number. Like 199 bothers me. So let's see if we can find Matthew $1 on the show. That would be great.
Yeah, help her out.
All right. So Night Slayers #1, a paranormal investigation comic. And now we talked about both Buffy and X-Files. So I can totally see how those would be influenced for what you're working on in this project. 100%. So your little blurb says, it's supernatural meets Rumpelstiltskin in our pilot issue. When a child vanishes, can 2 paranormal investigators find him in time? Yeah, and Supernatural is another one. That's a great series.
Yeah.
My friend Corissa Grant loves Supernatural and uses that as kind of influence in her story as well. So we love Supernatural here. Let's watch
honestly,
the
we do have this one thing. I am planning some Buffy, more Buffy-like stuff happening in future issues, but there's very little of Buffy type stuff in this one.
You don't have
I'll
to
just tell you that much.
No, they don't need to know that.
Okay.
Like they can follow along, and the story will evolve where it will evolve, but no
it's
spoilers,
more
people.
supernatural and it's more on the supernatural end than the Buffy end.
Hi, Carrie.
Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. You know, I've started Supernatural like twice, Lou, and I get so far and I get busy. The problem is that I haven't seen it before, so I want to give it my full attention. And I'm so busy that I'm always, excuse me, I'm always baking or working on something. So if I can't watch it, I feel like I'm not doing it justice. I got to go back and watch.
Remember, I love Scooby Natural. Do you ever
we haven't
see
played
that
it
one?
yet, so we'll show it, Carrie.
Oh, that
Go
was
ahead.
hilarious.
The Scooby Snacks?
No, Scooby Natural.
Oh, Scooby Natural? I missed that one.
Yeah,
Supernatural guys were on Scooby?
No, other way around. They
What?
There's an episode where they get trapped in a Scooby-Doo episode.
Shut up. That's awesome. I have to go find that. I'm sure Corissa knows where that is. Maybe I'll go pick her brain. Anyway, let's watch the video here from Apothecary Comics, The Night Slayers. Short and sweet, everybody. Ta-da! It tells you what you need to know, and it gets out of the way. And that's hold on, I gotta click all the buttons. You know me. I click all the buttons wrong. That's one thing about Kickstarter videos. Get out of here. that people don't realize. It's so hard to get people to watch the whole video. And so short and sweet, get in, get them information, get out of the way. That's the best thing to do. Shorter than, yeah. Then not only that, it's shorter than all my videos are a hot mess. You know what I mean? Like I play characters and I fall down and I run myself over with cars to get attention. So Laurie's videos are something else. Sorry, everybody. But all right, let's take a look here. Some nice, I like it. And I like your green Apothecary Comics little logo. It pops right off the page.
My
there.
business partner came up with that logo, but I came up with the name Apothecary Comics.
I like it.
Yeah,
The
and
Slayers.
my business partner also came up with Solve the Mystery, Survive the Night slogan,
I like it.
which I love.
Matthew, I'm getting definitely fate, like a Fables feel, like Hansel and Gretel. You said Rumpelstiltskin, stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
really getting that feel from this art and from what you're putting down here. Can you say like those stories kind of are a part of this, or what do you think?
Well, I this is a very loose. The first issue is a very loose retelling of my favorite fairy tale, Rumpelstiltskin. But I'm going to take it in a few different directions than what you'd expect in the actual story.
Any hints?
Well,
Don't spoil anything.
I don't know if I can without spoiling, but let's
All
just
right, well-
say, I guess I could say that, you know how he challenges her, guess my name, or I'll take your kid?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. He never gives her a chance to get her kid back.
You just
But
steals the
it's
kid.
completely up to the paranormal
How rude.
investigators to save her, to save the kid.
So we have introduction. Now, Andrew Hotch is your artist. He has this almost like a manga style art from what I can see.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the cover is much of a different art style than the actual comic.
Let me go in there.
Look down. That's more... Yeah, these are more accurate to what the comic will look like.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's better. What do you think?
I think they go hand in hand. I still see
Oh,
manga.
good.
I still see manga a lot. Is
Yeah.
that kind of what he's known for, or?
He's known for, like I said, board games and card games.
So this is his first comic?
I think. I don't know.
Exciting.
But since he's so good at trading card games, some of the Kickstarter rewards you can buy include trading cards.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Is there any pictures? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's 3 trading cards of Carl, Emily, and John Stone, the police officer. And then there's the final tier is you can get your own custom trading card of a monster. Any monster you ask for.
Okay. It says add your favorite cryptid.
Yeah. But there's only like 10 of those available.
Yeah, that's smart. And someone already got one of those. So there's only 9 left, people.
Yeah.
All right. So let's really dig into the story. So you say when a child goes missing, the skeptical officer, Jonathan Stone, reluctantly hands the case to paranormal investigators, Carl Vincent and Emily Niles. Can the Night Slayers solve the mystery? So this is going to be a series. How many do you anticipate will be in the series, Matthew?
Honestly, I anticipate it being kind of monster of a week, going until we can't go anymore type.
So an
story.
ongoing, that's fun.
Yeah, if we can.
That's pressure, though, man, to come up something unique and original.
I have several ideas for where the story could go.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know if I should say this, but I might as well. The sequel will, if we have one, will probably be they're even loosely based on The Little Mermaid.
Uh-oh. I don't know about that. I don't like mermaids in horror because then we're going down the siren and then they just eat people. So fun times.
Well, I'm just saying, because this would be, but that would take even less inspiration from the story. And then after that, I think I'm going to go more on my own thing and less on the fairy tale side.
Gotcha. That's cool. I like to see the homage, where people can make assumptions about the story based off of, like you said, fables or something else. But then it's like, it's your job to kind of twist it and give them something they haven't seen before. It's interesting to me. It's an interesting play,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so tell me about these characters. So Carl Vincent. Carl was a well-respected reporter until the day he claimed on air that Emily's father was right about the paranormal. After losing his job, he joined forces with Emily to start the Night Slayers. What? He's holding an axe here. What? Do Old Mother and the Shoe. That would be an interesting. I bet you Matthew could do it. I
don't honestly remember that story.
Crushes people with her giant shoe.
Oh boy. I don't know how that would work in our story. This is a story where the masses don't believe in paranormal. Carl and Emily are in an uphill battle to try to convince the world that paranormal events happen. And you can't really dismiss giant footprints that are crushing people.
Oh, I'm sure you could figure out a way. If the masses don't believe in old ladies in giant shoes, like how big? See again, Chad, with the feet. You're always with the feet, man. Carrie, on a side note, I don't mean to derail us here, Matthew, but do you do international shipping? Carrie is in the UK.
Well, we have one person from Austria, so I think so. Honestly, I don't know. My business partner's handling the shipping rates, but I'm pretty sure we do.
Carrie, on the campaign I'm showing here, it says it will ship to anywhere in the world. So it sounds like the business partner is handling that aspect, but it is available here on the campaign.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Carl and Emily. Oh, I was going to ask you, what's with the axe? Please tell me.
I can't tell you that because that is a major spoiler.
You put him here with a giant axe and you're like, he needs it for reasons.
I'm sorry, that would spoil a big twist.
All right, don't spoil it. All right. And then Emily. So Emily Niles, Emily's father was a genius engineer who became obsessed with proving the existence of paranormal phenomena. When he was committed to an asylum, Emily quit her job as librarian and started the Night Slayers. What is she holding?
Well, it's kind of... You ever heard of a ghost hunter's EMF reader?
Yeah.
Well, in the story, Emily's dad created this device that's like an EMF reader, but it can detect any monster. It's called a magic organ detector.
They emit like a frequency that the technology can pick up?
It can detect magic. Magic origin detector, I call it MOD. And it's basically functions like a Geiger counter. The closer you get to magic items or creatures, the more it beeps.
What's I feel like there's repercussions then to getting close to magic. Does it have consequences for the humans? It's just a yes or no question.
I never thought of that angle. I just thought that was a cool twist on the EMF reader, but that could be an interesting plot point.
Yeah, you could definitely develop that. Like the more you're around the magic, something happens to the humans. Maybe that's what
I can't hear you anymore.
Maybe that's what drove Emily's father insane. Dun dun dun. Do we get to see him in a future issue, Emily's father?
Well, there's a very, very small cameo of him in this comic.
Oh, there is.
It's just kind of a flashback.
Uh-huh.
I
think
probably
he's a
shouldn't
super
have said
interesting
that
character.
much, but anyway.
No, it's good. It's good because I'm interested in her father. It's kind of like that's the whole reason why this is all happening is because
Yeah.
his experience. So we
Oh,
want
and
to
by the way,
know.
Carl Vinson is the amalgamated names of Carl Kolsak from Kolsak the Night Stalker and David Vincent from The Invaders.
Ooh, I was going to say Vincent Price because he's creepy.
Yeah. And then Emily Niles, I don't know where I got the Emily, but I got the Niles from the guy who made 30 Days of Night.
Oh, what about, isn't there a Niles and Buffy somewhere?
Giles is Buffy's
Oops.
boss.
Yeah, I don't watch Buffy. I just got my Buffy card taken away. What's happening, Chad? They explode. When they get close to magic, nice try. You get close to supernatural stuff and you become a ghost shark. Chad.
That would be weird.
Chad, I gotta wonder sometimes. It is in my time not in California, in Texas, it's 10:36 a.m., sir. What are you doing with your life? Too much caffeine? Not enough caffeine? I don't know. I feel like there's been substances that have happened. John Stone. So John is a nice guy, but does not believe in paranormal at all. So over the last 2 years, Officer Stone has made his mission to shut down the Night Slayers, convinced they are scam artists. Woo! Thank you, Carrie. Yay! See, we found your dollar.
Yay!
Matthew. Thank you, Carrie. When we started the show, he was at $199, and I was like, "Let's get over that 200 mark." You know, I summoned you.
Thank you.
Coffee and getting ready for our work meeting. Yes. Chad, you make the chat way interesting. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being in the chat because you make this show so much more chaotic and fun. Right? That's right. So tell us about John Stone. So he's staunchly a non-believer.
Yeah. But in the first issue, he and the Night Slayers go into a reluctant alliance because, well, I don't know if I should say or not, but
you're doing this
what
a
the heck?
lot.
I'll just say it. But one of the suspects is so rich that he has to, in order to, or not rich, but like they have a suspect in the disappearance of a kid, and they won't talk until they see the Night Slayers. So he has to rely on them to get the truth out of this suspect.
So the Night Slayers, do they have this reputation then? I mean, is it positive, negative? Like
mainly negative because most people think they're scam artists. This is a world that doesn't believe in paranormal, and they're charging money to investigate paranormal events.
Oh, so they definitely get paid.
Yeah.
Okay. Work for hire
That's
people.
one thing I didn't understand about Supernatural was, and not to knock Supernatural, but I didn't understand how they could do that for free.
Oh, they were stealing.
Yeah, I get that, but I was thinking in real life, you'd at least try to get paid.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, if you do something well and you never do it for free, right? Credit card fraud. Yeah, that's how they functioned on Supernatural.
Yeah.
Stealing watches, stuff like that. All right, let's go shopping, everybody. Let's scroll back up. Hey, thank you, Carrie. That's wonderful. All right. So, of course, Kickstarter, you can always make a pledge without reward. You just back it because you believe in it. 100% of the proceeds go right to the creator after Kickstarter takes their portion, of course. Available rewards. Let's look what we get. Digital edition, $5. That's standard. So, I love this. So you not only do you get the Night Slayer comic book, the PDF, the digital version, but you also get your name in the credits. And I do this as well. And I think it's so important, Matthew, for creators to do this because you're bringing people along on your journey. They have a stake in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they see their name in the book, it's a nice way to say thank you, and it immortalizes their assistance on your journey, you know? So
We do have it where you have to at least pledge $5 to get the credits, but yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I get you.
So
And
$7. Oh, is this still going? How long does this
yeah,
go for?
what?
Early bird? The early bird?
Is just until we get 50 people.
Gotcha. So you'll be
There's
getting a
only
digital
50 of
copy of the Night Slayers 1 and a physical copy of the comic for a discount. So it's the first 50 backers. So there's 4 people. So after 50, then it goes up. So, but this is great. $7 is a steal, you guys. Usually it's $10 for just a physical and $15 for physical and digital combos. A lot what I see. So it's like half price, which is really great. Double bundle. Backing this level will get you 1 physical copy and 1 digital copy of the Night Slayer #1. So this is basically what you get after this one, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
That's when we're out of specials.
Right. When the early bird is over, you can get the other one. Author signed limited edition. What's this? Get a digital copy along with the signed physical copy, and this will be signed by Matthew himself. Limited to 100 copies. So this is a signed version for $20. And then an artist signed edition. So are you both in Illinois?
No, yes, actually, I'm from Watson, which is basically Effingham, and my business partner is in Mattoon.
Thank you, Chad. You're wonderful.
Oh, thank
So you're
you.
both there. That's great. So hopefully you can, like what we used to do, myself and Marco, we would just get together and have lunch. And while when we're done eating lunch, we would sit and sign books. So is that something that are you close enough?
Honestly, I'm got to be perfectly honest. I've never met my artist. He works for my business partner.
Gotcha. But
My
that would be
business
cool to
partner
meet him
and
in
the
person.
artist are 2 different people.
Yeah, but that's still cool. And yeah, look, like the double signed, that's a great opportunity for like the 3 of you guys to get together and have lunch, talk about the series and sign books, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and Matthew,
I'd love to do that.
Carrie says, and she's done one of these for me and she's wonderful. Carrie will do an unboxing. She calls it the Clumsy Brit unboxing video. And so she will promote you on Instagram and on other places so she can share the video and then tag you. So when she gets it, people can see her unbox your comic. It's super cool. Such a good feeling.
Honestly, I'm not on Instagram very often, but I am on Facebook. If that helps. But I would love for you to unbox it on a video.
It's such a good feeling, and I wish more people would do it. I love to see reactions when people not only get my product so they can unbox it and see all the cool stuff that's in it, but on top of that, I would wish that they would record their reaction as they're reading, especially the ending. Don't spoil it, but capture your reaction when you're reading my book, because I want to see if my plot point, like if it's hitting right. Are you upset? Are you sad? Are you laughing? I want to know. You know what I mean? Like that would be fun too. Just my opinion. So the double signed, $30, guys. $30. That's cheap, man. To get a double signed copy, a limited edition, that's great. And then again, here we are with the custom. It's not scrolling. Oh, it's at the bottom. Custom card and comic. And so Andrew, I'm going to scroll to the right place this time, everybody. Just be patient. Here we go. Andrew is an artist that does trading card games and board games. Correct, Matthew?
He is the artist that works for the guy that makes board games and card games. His business is called Speed Robo, if anyone's interested in that.
Speed Robo?
Yeah, I believe that's the name.
Cool.
He also goes by a different name and sells these regular games like Magic the Gathering and stuff. But I can't remember what his other business name was. I just know him as the owner of Speed Robo, though.
Gotcha. I always wonder, are artists hired to do Magic cards like they are hired to do Marvel trading cards? Like you can be hired to do like You know what I mean? Like you do like 5 cards and you're paid per card. That's how I think like Marvel does it. You're contracted for like 10 cards. Does anybody know in the chat? Carrie, I definitely will, Matthew, have you a link for your Facebook page where people can legally stalk you.
Oh boy.
Okay, and Chad, you say yes, they do magic cards like that. Yeah. You can find Matthew on Facebook just under Matthew Kreke, just like it's spelled in his little bio here, Carrie. He pulls right up. That's how I found him.
Yeah.
I was legally stalking as well. That was my job. Yes, people, before you come on the show, I do legally stalk you to make sure it's a project that aligns with what I'm hoping to promote on the show. Indie creators, all that good stuff. All right. He does. He legally stalks me all the time. But that's okay because when I'm putting stuff on social media, that's what I want you to do. Go look at it. All right. So add-ons, you can also add on these trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
And that can go on to everything except for the digital campaigns, correct?
Yeah, I think, but I don't know.
Gotcha.
Again, my business partner made pretty much this entire page. I just suggested things.
You keep
I
saying
just
my
wrote the
business
script,
partner.
guys.
What's their name?
His name is Right On Vassy.
Gotcha. Okay. How did you
I've
guys
never
meet?
heard that name before in my life until I met him.
Me neither. How did you guys meet?
I run a small video game tabletop game convention called Effing Con in my hometown of Effingham, and he was one of my vendors.
Mm-hmm. And you were like, say, I have this idea. And he was like, say less.
What?
You were like, so
Okay.
I have this idea. And he was like, say less, man. Let's put it together.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And I was like, I know how that goes. I've seen that happen. All right. So, and we have some stretch goals. That's great. So let's talk about these. These stretch goals we'd like to achieve with your help, of course. If this project gets the listed funding totals, we will do our best to fulfill the project with these upgrades. So $3,000 free bookmark to all backers who purchased a physical copy of the book. Bookmarks are great. $5,000 illustrated back cover. And $8,000, the artist will be coloring the interior pages of the book. And $15,000, let's get there. That would be great. Next book will be funded and created. I love those goals. I wish, more creators could do that, where it's like you can run one single campaign and fund multiple books.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, things are so expensive.
To explain the illustrated back cover, that basically means we won't put the ad on the back of the cover. Right now, I've got it where every copy will have an ad to the printer on the back of the cover.
Which printer did you choose to go with?
Kablam Comics.
Oh, Kablam. Okay. Yeah,
Not
printers
to be confused with Kablam, the TV show.
Yes.
That Google keeps recommending to me for some reason.
Right, stop it. I know, Big Brother is listening. Printers are kind of a hot topic right now because prices keep going up. So everybody's chatting with each other about where do you get your books? How much are they? Do they give discounts? How much is the shipping? What's the turnaround? It's just all, everybody's moving around, making changes because prices keep going up. So I've heard good things about
Kablam's pretty cheap if you put the ad in.
Yeah. They give you a big discount for the ad on the back?
Yeah, about 10%, I think they said.
Wow. What's this? Chad, same, but I just like making Laurie uncomfortable, and her fruit smashing is always fun. This is true. All of that is true. I need to send her Set the Hook ad script. Yes. We need to record that. Yes. So we can pretend to be jellyfish. That is my job.
Should I even ask what fruit smashing means?
Oh, okay. So when I run my Kickstarter campaigns, Matthew, one of my stretch goals that I offer every campaign is called the slice and dice. And I leave it to the backers. I send them out a survey. I will pick a fruit or vegetable like a pumpkin or watermelon. And then they get to do two things. They get to vote on a name and they vote on a weapon of destruction. And I'll usually list some, but I also take write-ins. So The last a slice and dice we did, I smashed a jackfruit. The backers named it Jack the Ripper, and they voted on a two-handed axe to cut this thing apart. And so on one of the Tuesday morning brews, I literally dressed up as Pikachu because it just goes along with it. And I took the camera outside and we set up Jack the Ripper with some googly eyes and sparklers sticking out of him. We lit him on fire and then I cut him to pieces. And so it's just one of the fun things we do. Is one of our stretch goals every campaign, and they love it. They love it. So can think outside.
They didn't call it something like Fruity McFruit Face.
Yeah, they've tried. Like, you actually have to vote. Like, it's hard. People write in all sorts of stuff. It's just ridiculous. Like, sometimes it's fun just to go read the poll to see what people are naming these things. I chuckle every time. Usually when they write in the weapons, that's the most fun to read. People have suggested like stoplights and M80s and shotgun and
bazooka.
I haven't gotten bazooka, but someone was like spatulas. I'm like, well, that would take forever. And someone was like a bundle of kittens, and I'm like, I don't even know how that would work. Like, I just let them eat it. Like, we would be here all day. I'm not smacking the kitten. Like, come on, guys.
Well, if you got enough kittens, it might not take too long.
Depends on what they're eating too. It's like, is it hard to get? Like, jackfruit was tough. It took a long time to get that.
I've never heard of a jackfruit, so
it's like a weird spiky watermelon, but it's like the rind is hard. It's hard. It took me a few swings to get it apart, and then I ended up. I have this wooden stool that I put all the fruit on. The stool died too, so it got it. But we always have a fun time. I've tried to light things on fire unsuccessfully. That's been a joke. Laurie doesn't know how to light a fire. Yeah. Yeah. So you can always think outside the box with some of these stretch goals. PETA is coming for you. Yes. Were you the one that said the kittens, Chad? Oh, man. Oh, Carrie's officially stalking you, Matthew. Also, do you own a Pac-Man machine? Is that what's behind you?
Oh, if you're talking about the baby Pac-Man machine in my profile picture, I sold it.
Ah. Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, it started breaking down, and I didn't know how to fix it, so I sold it to someone who knew how to fix it.
What Laurie and Pops being mutual friends made you easy to find. Mahaha. Sent you a message so I can send you an unboxing video. We'll leave it up to you if you want this angel as that's right. As soon as I read angel, I was like, ha. I don't know, Carrie. I don't know. You describe yourself as angel. That's generous. That's funny. You should have put kittens. I don't know who put it, but it was funny. Anyways, moving on. And so what did you decide to put in word from the author? Current risks are very minimal. The comic is done. So just a reminder, the art is done. Matthew held up a finished copy of the prototype in his hand. So we have our printer lined up. All we need is funding, and it will be in the hands of our wonderful backers. Of course, there's always the chance there could be delays in manufacturing the book or any of the rewards. These things happen, and in case we will properly communicate with our supporters on the issues. Yes. Any of the delays that you could possibly have, Matthew, I have experienced them all. So,
well, I ordered this prototype, and it took forever getting this prototype.
Yeah, usually when they do like just one, they're not in a hurry to do it because they're printing like the other dude's 500 books, which is rude.
Yeah,
but it happens. But yeah, that's what happens. Don't laugh. You'll give me away. I'm an angel. No comment. No comment. So Matthew, that's a wonderful campaign. And everybody, I just want to remind you, I'm going to throw the link up there for everybody that's watching. Here it is again. Go check it out. What's been your experience running? Is this your first Kickstarter that you and your business partner are running? What's your experience so far?
Well, it's first one I'm involved in. I think my business partner has more experience with this.
Yeah.
That's why I hired him to do this.
Right. That's a smart move, though. Find people that have more experience. Ask them a lot of questions, right? That's my thing.
Well, I didn't
So what's-
ask him questions. I literally had him put up most of the work for the Kickstarter.
You're like, just do it, man. But what's
I
been
did
your
some
experience
editing
so
to
far?
the campaign, though. What?
We'll say again. You go ahead.
I said I had him do most of it, but I did edit some of it.
Yeah.
I'm also, I think, the one who suggested we put a video up. I think.
Aha. Did you do the video or did someone else do it? And you.
My business partner did the video too.
Mhm.
But as you probably saw on Facebook, I recently got a copy of it and started kind of spamming it to various locations on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of hand in hand with running a campaign. It's just sharing your stuff
Yeah.
everywhere. Hey, Grey Wolf, how are you
I
this morning?
I also was following a really cool Kickstarter called Fall of Man.
Yeah.
And I noticed they didn't have a video, and I really think that's the only reason they haven't reached their goal. Because the campaign looks beautiful other than no video.
Yeah. There's some statistic, and I don't know exactly what it is, but Kickstarter recommends that you do a video too. And it's like
Yeah.
what they say is aim for a minute or less if you can. Just generally because people don't have the attention span they used to. So they don't usually sit down and watch a 3-minute video unless you're me and you light yourself on fire at the end. But yeah, so like a minute.
That didn't sink in at first.
I haven't lit myself on fire yet, but I don't know. It's, hey, Grey Wolf. I have
Hey,
run
we're
myself over
talking
with a car.
paranormal. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're talking paranormal investigation here. You
Yeah.
know, they used to say that some people would just light on fire for no reason, spontaneous combustion.
Spontaneous combustion.
That would be a great way to end this video, wouldn't it?
Yeah, to spontaneously just combust. I mean, you should do an issue on that. Like that's a great thing to investigate. They found people
Yeah.
like in a chair. They're just ashes. The chair wasn't on fire, but they're like their feet are still at the bottom of the. Like, how does that happen?
I don't know.
Something weird.
Maybe it's a pyrokinesis user.
Carrie, behave. She's always flirting with my guests. She says that's a cute laugh, Matthew. So yeah, you could definitely pull out all sorts of weird paranormal encryptids in anything in this. So I can see how having an ongoing series would be a lot of fun. But do you ever have aspirations of writing something else? Like more
Yes,
sci-fi?
more Beacon for one, and
Yeah.
what's
Can you pitch us Beacon? We've talked about how you published it and how you have
it's basically a superhero has to overcome a tragedy to come out of retirement.
Okay.
If you want me to go into more detail,
Yes.
It's basically the superhero named Beacon, who is basically a watered down version of Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
Is basically the greatest protector of her city that has ever been known, and everyone loves her. And then one day, a supervillain actually defeats her.
Mm-hmm.
Not kills her, but almost. And she has to retreat, and she loses the entire situation, even what she was fighting for, and also a family member.
Oof.
So
Way to
altogether,
hammer that
she's
home.
traumatized.
Well, yeah.
Then like months later, after she's dealt with the trauma a little bit, suddenly the local government, out of desperation to replace her, creates this clone of her that is not mentally stable and starts having a psychiatric break. And long story short, it goes on a homicidal rampage, and only the real Beacon can stop her.
So Beacon basically versus a crazy version of herself.
Yes.
What's the clone's name? I'm just curious.
I I probably shouldn't have called it a clone. It's actually revealed to be a human being who's on a drug that the government built to make you into a Beacon clone.
Mm.
Like, you take this pill, you become as powerful as Beacon for a small amount of time.
Aha.
But
But it gives you the same powers as Beacon?
yes, but
Is Beacon government
What?
created? I don't
No,
know. I'm John
no,
Strasser.
you know how I said she almost died?
Yeah.
Well, while she was presumed dead, the government harvested some of her blood
Oh.
and had it reverse engineered her powers into a pill.
Uh-huh. So what they
And
did is
so
basically created
so they-
Hulk instead of Captain America. Way to go,
They
guys.
basically gave this random woman plastic surgery to look like Beacon, and then gave her this pill. Hey, take this pill and you can be like Beacon. And then the pill had unintended side effects of giving her a psychotic break.
Does she have to continually take pills in order to remain?
Yes, she gets. It's kind of an allegory for drug addiction, I think,
100%.
because she keeps looking for more pills and to continue her crusade. She's after something in particular, but I don't reveal that immediately.
Yeah, don't tell us. Spoilers.
But yeah, she's. I didn't flat out say it, but in my mind, she's only doing it to justify the drug use.
Well, I mean, if I could take a drug that would make me Supergirl, I would probably be going through withdrawals for that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would be addicted to that. Who wouldn't be
Yeah.
addicted to feeling like a superhero? You can fly.
Yeah.
You have superhero powers.
Well,
like
she can't fly, but she can run real fast,
Mhm.
move or jump, and punch a dent in a tank.
So again,
Yeah,
I
like
would
I
100%
said,
do.
watered down.
There's a
Supergirl.
whole, what was it? Project Power? You see that?
Yeah,
on
that's
Netflix?
similar to mine, but only a certain.
But
type
only,
of
yeah, yours
power.
is very specific. But like, I can
Yeah.
see how people would get addicted
Yeah,
to that superpower feeling.
yeah.
What comic? Oh, hold on. We got to catch up with the chat. What is it? Carrie said, I haven't been told he's single. Oh, Carrie, this is not your speed dating app. You don't have to answer that. Let's see. Call the spontaneous combustion story The Fire Within. Hey, I like it.
That
Lou.
sounds cool.
Steal it. Take it, Matthew. Grey Wolf says, hi, Lou Pons. And Carrie says, what comic made you want to create your own, Matthew? Yeah, was there a specific one? Now, in the beginning, Carrie, you kind of missed the beginning where he was talking about reading Spider-Man and reading, I forget the name of it, but it was like kind of like X-Files and then Buffy. Those were
You
kind
mean
of
Colsack?
Thank you.
Colsack
I'm never
and
going to
Hot
remember
Stronger?
that, but what was there a specific one that was like, yes, I want to do this?
I really don't know if there was. It would. Honestly, when I started the comic, I wanted to just adapt this to a comic, but somebody told me that the superhero genre is probably too saturated at the moment. So I said, well, I got this other paranormal investigation story in my head, and they said, yeah, you should probably go with that one instead.
Do you think superhero genre is oversaturated?
I don't know. I
Yeah?
just took their advice.
Honestly, I don't know either because I never was really in, like, I like superheroes, but I've never really, I don't buy superhero comics and I don't write that stuff myself. So I don't know. I'm interested with, chat if you think the superhero genre is oversaturated. Now, of course, and I write zombie stuff too, and that, of course, I always hear that that's oversaturated. Like, that's Jump the Shark. Paranormal seems to be pretty hot. Cryptids. I think people like that stuff right now. I don't know. What would you think would be? What are people watching? I don't watch
I'd like
TV.
to answer Carrie's question.
Yeah, this one.
The one about Forrest Gump. I am autistic, and Forrest Gump supposedly was written as an autistic character.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's
Matthew
why
is
he's
not from the
different,
South.
but yet able to do things.
Matthew is from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe that's where, interesting. Maybe Tom Hanks had inspiration from an autistic person.
That's probably what happened, but I don't know.
Speaking about a great movie, that's a great movie. I love Forrest Gump.
I can't hear
Anyway.
you anymore.
You can't hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. I was wondering, I did an interview the other day and my microphone was acting funny. I might need to reset it. I said, I always prefer the villains in comics, like Harley Quinn and Joker, Deathstroke, Black Widow, and the Punisher are cool too.
Black Widow's not a villain anymore.
This is true. But tell us, what's your approach to the villain? Do you want them, are they relatable? Or are they so far out there that nobody... Oh, and look at this. This is awesome. Autism is your
Thanks.
superpower. So
So
how do you approach your villains?
About?
How do you approach your villains, Matthew?
In Beacon, they're more or less somewhat relatable, for the most part. But in the Night Slayers, they're just forces of nature usually.
Say again, the what?
Forces of nature. Did you hear that?
Forces of nature. Thank you. My brain.
In the Night Slayers. In Beacon, I try to make them a little more relatable.
Yeah. So force of nature, just like don't care, no empathy, like.
Yeah, pretty much. Or just genetically predisposition to be bad.
Like raised that way, or because like the nature of, well, I mean, like cryptids. They're
Have you ever watched Grimm?
Did I watch Grimm? Which one is that one?
That's the one where a descendant of the Brothers Grimm has to fight the monsters from the Grimm fairy tales.
No, I must.
It was an NBC, so it was. Yeah. Anyway, he befriends the big bad wolf in that book or in that show because this one has been actively trying to repress his natural evil through various therapy sessions. Something like that is what I'm going with on the Night Slayers. They're naturally evil, but maybe they could repress it if they wanted to.
Yeah. I saw a funny cartoon. It was like one of those cartoon strip. And it was what did they call him? Some kind of like unknown werewolf where he just like went to sleep on a full moon and then it shows a panel of him sleeping as a werewolf and then waking up in the morning like, I feel great. Like has no clue he's a werewolf. He just goes to bed. I thought that was entertaining. So, okay. So you're going to be writing more Beacon?
I have half a script for Beacon too, yes.
All right. So that's in process.
But
and then is that one ongoing as well? Is that one going to be ongoing?
If I can.
Yeah.
If people keep buying it, I'll keep writing it, hopefully.
Yeah. You ever thought about doing any anthologies or participating?
Actually, yes. I have one I've been trying to write, but never really got the nerve to finish. I called it Chronicles of Destruction, title pending. But one of the stories I had was about an alien invasion.
Tell us more.
Basically, aliens land on a planet and they start wiping out inhabitants. Not for the reasons you'd expect to be, but just to start farming the land. They put their own crop, but after they've wiped out all the life in an area, they start planting crops and harvesting them because their home planet is out of farmland.
Still kind of rude, don't you think? Like,
what?
It's still kind of rude, don't you think? Like, don't come to my backyard.
But if you're starving on your home planet, what you gonna do?
I mean, I get it, but Don't
Yeah.
shoot the population.
Yeah. One thing I also liked about that story is I didn't have them shooting ray guns in that one.
No.
I had them dumping gas on the population. I felt that would differentiate me from all the other alien invasion stories.
Yeah. Also traumatic.
Dumping toxic gas rather than shooting lasers seems unique.
Yeah.
Plus, the
Yeah.
military of the planet that is fighting back actually has a chance if they shoot the ships down early.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time for them to get their force fields up.
Interesting.
But I never finished that story. I might go back to it someday, though.
Yeah, that would be. I think you have a lot of stories that you could probably
Yeah.
revisit and do something with. And
Yeah.
I feel that way about myself too. Like I have other stuff that I've written that never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. As a writer, do you go back and you revisit scripts, or do you push yourself to do
Sometimes I
something new?
do. For example, I had a nightmare years ago about being a detective in an asylum, and long story short, it inspired a movie I tried to write.
Yeah.
It was basically the same premise. Somebody was a detective in a asylum trying to solve murders, not knowing that the murders were actually committed by a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then
nobody believes the inmates when they say, hey, a monster did it.
Yeah. Who would believe inmates anyway?
Yeah.
Do you ever go to haunted places, or
I have occasionally.
I was like, do you look for
Gone on ghost
inspiration
hunts.
from? Go ahead.
I would like to go some more, but yeah, I've gone on some ghost hunts, but not very many.
Because I
And
feel like
yeah, I think
I see
the
you going
EMF
on.
reader.
I see you going on like safari, like haunted tours and like urban legend tours to get inspiration. I feel like
Yeah.
you would do that.
Yeah, I've been to the grave of a monster called the Piazza.
What's that?
It's basically a griffin-like creature that lived in Illinois, supposedly, back during the Native American times. It's this whole story about this griffin-looking thing that ate children. So, long story short, the chief tricked him and put on some sacrificial offering stuff, pretended to offer himself to the creature, then had a poison spear he shoved into the heart of the creature, and it killed it.
Then what'd they do with it?
Well, supposedly it's buried under the stone that I visited.
Yeah. Did they charge
But
admission
you-
to see this thing?
No,
Just
but you'd think if there was something there, they would have checked for it, you know? You'd think if it was real, someone would have exhumed its body and had it researched, you
I was gonna
know?
say taxidermy, right? At least put its bones on display or something.
Then again, it might be too degraded to see. Who knows?
Interesting.
But you'd think if dinosaur bones still exist, that monster bones would still exist there. Oh, well.
You know, that's interesting. I was someone was, I don't know, posted something somewhere that was like dragons existed. We still have flying lizards somewhere. Is the only reason why dragon bones don't exist is because the bones had to be fragile and light in order to fly. And so when they died, they degraded and they never fossilized. So that could be an excuse why some of the cryptids, we don't have proof. Like if their bones.
Well, one thing I heard that makes a lot of sense is that the reason dragons aren't in the Bible is because they were called dinosaurs, or dinosaurs aren't in the Bible is because they were called dragons. I don't know if that's true, but that is an interesting theory.
I also heard that the T-Rex skeletons, that they put the hands on backwards, that they're actually like little chicken wings.
Aww.
Wouldn't that be cute if they were like feathery, like Chickens? Giant. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Giant danger chicken sounds terrible, actually. Did you ever see? They found the fossilized vocal cord of, I think, a T-Rex and a Velociraptor. Like, and if you blow through it, it makes the sound, apparently, of what these things sounded like.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, you
I
have to
didn't
go
know
check
that was
out.
even possible to fossilize a vocal cord.
I don't know. Like somehow they were able to make this voice box. I don't know how they're doing it. I'll have to go look that up. But someone was blowing through it and it just sounded crazy. And they're like, that's what it would sound like. And I'm like, for real? Or are we getting punked?
Well, to be fair, it would probably be degraded to the point it wouldn't sound exactly the same.
Right. Well, I don't know if they're recreating it, like taking the measurements and 3D scanning it, and then they probably 3D print it or something like that,
Yeah.
like resin print it and then blow through it. Because I highly doubt that whatever museum that has that thing is letting them just like put their hands on it and be like, boo.
I'm sorry, what?
Can you imagine if the museum was like, here, just take this thing and blow in it, see what happens?
Yeah, that would
like,
be
how about
unsanitary too.
Hands off the merchandise.
That would be unsanitary too. You might catch some Jurassic disease.
It launches some terrible virus into the air. The thing that took out the dinosaurs is now in the air. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That's it. Ooh, we could write that. Introduce.
There was also, I believe, not too long ago, some people did some Arctic ice secking, and they discovered a life form that has gone extinct, but these frozen ones were still alive, and they were thinking about maybe falling them out, and people were like, no, haven't you watched the thing?
Yeah, just now is not the time to do that. Thank you. Leave it alone. Put it back. Yeah, the thing is terrifying. Can you imagine? Like, who would wake that up?
I don't know, but
that's bad news. So, Matthew, do you plan on going to any Comic-Cons or table signings?
Yes, I'm going to I go to a lot of conventions. My next one will be in October 20th, QuadCon.
Yeah.
I think it's in St. Charles, Missouri.
Okay. So when you go to cons, you're going as an attendee, or are you going to have a table set
Vendor.
Awesome.
I'm going to be selling my comic and my book.
Nice. When's that one coming?
October 20th.
Okay. Will you?
I will be selling a pre. I don't know how to put this, but like it'll look like this except without the number 1. I think.
Like a preview.
It'll sort of, but it'll be the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be like a limited edition pre-sale one.
Ooh.
Because it will be before Kickstarter.
How are you going to make that different than the one that you're going to produce later?
It's not, to be honest, other than the cover a little bit. My parents thought I should definitely be selling some comics at a comic convention, even if my Kickstarter is still going. I know it's a little shady, but I didn't want to tell them no.
Well, I think I don't know. From my experience, usually the people that are going to the Comic-Cons are not always the ones that are paying attention to social media about Kickstarter. Okay. So a lot of times when I'm at a con, if I'm in like pre-launch or I'm active, a lot of people, I have to tell them like, hey, I'm active on Kickstarter. A lot of people know what it is, but they had no idea where you were. You know what I mean? So those crowds don't always overlap. So it's good to be selling comics in cons because they probably won't show up for the Kickstarter campaign. It's hard. It's hard to touch all those different audiences. And so, but how did you get a table in Minnesota? Like, that's a little bit of a hike for you.
What do you mean Minnesota?
Didn't you say Minnesota?
St. Charles, Missouri.
That's the other way. Still a little bit of a drive for you.
Yeah, but not that far.
Yeah, that's
Is it?
true.
You had me worried there.
I was like, how are you going to Minnesota? You're like, no. But still, like, how did you get invited? Did someone suggest
No, but
that
I
con?
just kind of invited myself, and they said, "Sir, if you want to fill out this form," and I filled out the form, and yeah, had to pay though.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because I'm always looking for local cons, and you were like, let's go out of state.
Well, my state is known for one thing: taxes. And
Ooh.
as a result, there ain't very many quality cons near my area,
Yeah,
except in Chicago,
the C2E2.
which my parents are deadly afraid of.
Because it's Chicago or because it's just a big con?
Because they're thinking that Chicago, they watch Fox News so much, they think that anyone who ever lives in Chicago is murdered.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're gonna change the subject because I don't want to get political, especially right now.
I'm sorry. I'm just
No, you're
telling
fine.
you. I don't believe it's that bad, but I do understand.
Yeah.
But,
so you're looking for outside of Chicago Comic-Cons.
Yes,
Yeah,
basically.
it's hard. Over by me, I know Missouri for the Foxtrotter horse.
I don't know what that is.
What is that, Katie? Hello, Katie, by the way. Hello. Oh, and by the way, Katie has a Kickstarter that ends today. Did it end already, or is it ending soon? I think you're ending today. Yeah. I'm excited to get my book. So you can head over. The Dragon Child is ending today. So, Katie, tell us what the
that's your story?
Well, she got 5 hours left. Yeah, the Dragon Child is Katie Shaw. So she's going for another 5 hours, everybody. So if you haven't gotten your copy, like panic and go there now and get your copy because it's closing. What's Foxtrotter?
What were we talking about? Oh, sorry. What were we talking about before I made that comment that almost got me kicked off?
Oh no, we weren't going to kick you off, honey. No.
Oh, I'm just kidding. But what were we talking about?
Well, I was just saying, like, it's amazing to me that
conventions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, where I am because I'm north of Dallas. There's a ton of comic shops in the towns around me, but there is no comic shop in the town that I'm in. And so a lot of times I'm traveling to go to Plano. There was a great one in McKinney. Unfortunately, that one just closed. And so I feel you where it's like you kind of have to travel to go to different stores in order to find kind of like your family, your comic home. Here is the link to Katie's Kickstarter, by the way. Go check it out. Please go check it out. You got 5 hours.
I love Lou Pon's comment.
She says, my grandmother assumed London was always foggy and that there was Jack the Ripper type lurking in every alley. It's funny. It's funny. Like, Jack the Ripper's been gone for a long time, guys. He ain't there no more. I don't know about the fog, though. Foxtrotters are a type of gated horse, and they gained new fame from being included in the game Red Dead Redemption. Interesting. I had no idea.
Doesn't hold a candle to Yoshi.
To Yoshi?
Yeah.
He's better. He's a better horse.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know.
I love Yoshi. I always see those TikToks where they're showing like Mario bailing off of Yoshi, and Yoshi's like, "What the heck?"
I haven't seen those, but I have seen I have seen one of those.
People are silly.
Yeah. It is kind of sad, though. There is a level you can't beat without sacrificing Yoshi in Super Mario World.
Yeah, like, why would they do that? That's just not cool. So, Matthew, I want to ask you more about your writing process. So you've talked about writing novellas and you've talked about writing comics. Do you write your script in the same format for both? Or do you...
No. I write it like a book on the novellas, and I write it like it with captions and I don't know what all. I don't know how to explain it. I just write a script for the comic
Do
with
you do it
captions and
comic book?
locations. And
Yeah, like do you do comic book format,
style.
which is like page 1, panel
Yes.
1?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But I didn't know how to put it on words.
We were talking about his Kickstarter experience, but he was doing okay, so I wasn't going to play it and scare him. But now that you mentioned it, Carrie, I mean, we kind of have to. I usually play this for people that are running a Kickstarter, and I think it's pretty accurate how they feel. Let me go find it. It's in here somewhere. Keep moving my stuff around. Here it is. All right, Matthew. You got to tell me if this is what your experience is like.
Hold on. I think I'm bleeding. Am I bleeding? Ah! 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 Nose and lips! Okay, ow. Ah! No, can I... Ow! 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 Wait! Ow! 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 Please, Mr. Oh!
Well, most of that would be scam artists.
Those are those Fiverr ones I had at the end where they just like, hey, do you need help? Hey, do you know what your man? What's your marketing plan? I got your marketing plan.
I'm getting a whole bunch of I'll help you through my Kickstarter itself. Just send me money basically and I'll help you. I'm really impressed, you know. A lot of bots have been contacting me there.
My favorite, Matthew, is when they're like, your campaign looks great. However, I don't think you have a marketing plan in place. And it was just like, how are you going to tell me it looks great and then insult me in the next sentence? Like, that's not how you...
Yeah. And I'm also being currently stalked. Well, almost.
I carry, yes.
I blocked them, but I was being stalked by a very aggressive scam artist, I'm pretty sure. Some guy who apparently ran a whole bunch of successful Kickstarters a year ago and then gave up, apparently, and is now trying to sell me how to services that will help me do my own Kickstarters. And he just would not take a break or take a hint, so I just blocked him finally.
Yeah, I think you have to. You know what's funny? I think that's the new trend because when I ran a Kickstarter earlier this year, I would have people like, oh, I'm so-and-so. And then when you go look them up, they ran like $1 million board game campaign. And you're like, oh, okay, so you know what you're doing. And they're like, here's my suggestions. And I'm like, why do you care how I promote? If you've already made your $1 million campaign, you're not waking up on a Tuesday morning and emailing little old me to be like, here's what you need to do. Like, you're sleeping in, right? Let's be honest. You have no stake in my success. And so when they're like, hey, did you do it yet? Hey, did you do it yet? Hey, did you do it yet? It's like, okay, block. Because there's no way a real, like, I'm not over anybody else's campaign like, you need to do this. Like, I don't care. You do what works best for you, man. You know, what's in your budget. So when they show up like that, it's just like, all right, you just got to block them, man.
And on that same subject, if that wasn't bad enough, I also, you know how I said I have a video game tabletop game convention I run?
Yeah.
I have had, I don't know how many copyright claims of, we are going to shut you down. You have violated copyright. Click here to appeal. I have blocked dozens of them.
Yes, that's, I think,
and
an
they just
ongoing
keep coming
thing.
like cockroaches.
I do the same every single episode of the Tuesday Morning Brew. I get hit with copyright from all these different places, and it's like there's no music. We are literally talking. Mm-hmm. How can you copyright claim when we are talking? I don't get it.
I'm pretty sure there are certain companies that would do that if they could copyright talking.
But they try, and it's the same, you know, I feel you. So it's just like, how many times do I have to say, like, you cannot copyright my face or voice? And they always take it off, but it's just annoying. Carrie had a good question. Well, you want me to do this for real? All right. So one of the things I have, what do I want to say? I have this character. I play characters like Karen, Needlemeyer. I have this other character that I play for Path of the Pale Rider. So again, we have undead characters, and they don't eat people. They're just them, but they get chaotic as they decay because their brain is rotting, right? So they get forgetful and they say weird things. They can become violent. So I have this character named Ellie. I just want to show you. News reporter Ellie Brock from WDED Channel 13. Are you okay? I'm okay. I don't have anything for this. No one prepared me for this. Consequences. That's a hot mess. Someone get her out. Someone come to Ellie. Please. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. It's down here somewhere. I'll find it. I got it. Think it'll go back in. Whose idea was this? Bubbles! Back to you. Sugar. Sassafras. Country music. Peas and carrots. Caramel corn. Maple syrup. Back to you. Someone come get Ellie. Thank you. So, there's some of the shenanigans and things that I do in my videos, right? So that was the bloopers from I did a Kickstarter video. Ellie was in it just causing problems, right? But I made clips. So she shouts just random things all the time. So it's like consequences and chicken nuggets. And so Carrie. Consequences. I'm sorry. Are you good?
Who?
You, are you good?
Yeah, my mom came in to visit.
No problem.
Me.
I just wanted to make sure I was like, I'm talking at you, and you're like, I'm busy. So Carrie wants consequences. So Ellie likes to shout consequences, and she also chicken nuggets. There's two of the things. So now the chat will yell consequences and chicken nuggets at each other from time to time. So, but for people like yourself who have never been on the show or never seen the show, it doesn't make any sense. So I wanted to make sure I explained it to you because randomly they're like, say chicken nuggets, and then the thing comes out and people are confused. All right. So Carrie had this good question. Do you listen to music when you're writing?
Usually, sometimes, usually video game music.
Interesting. So are you getting that off of YouTube, or like do you put a game on and just let it play?
No, YouTube usually.
Mm-hmm. That helps you get you in like the mood to put yourself in the world. And what kind of music besides video game music? Like, is it hard? Is it soft? Is it what is it?
Usually soft.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's Sonic the Hedgehog's songs. Sometimes it's softer songs like country music, or sometimes it's stuff like Coldplay's. What was that one? Viva La Vida.
Okay. Does it change depending on which story or what scene you're
No,
writing?
it just changes in general, depending on my feeling.
Carrie wants to know, what is your go-to? He said Sonic. Is it Sonic, or is there another one?
Well, it's usually either a Sonic song, a random one by Crust 40, or it could be Kingdom Hearts, Simple and Clean. Usually.
I love Kingdom Hearts music. It's good music.
Yeah.
Carrie said, scammers are sometimes funny. I had a friend request from Johnny Depp and Jelly Roll.
I think Elon Musk offered me a whole bunch of money once. Or was it Mark Zuckerberg? I can't remember anymore.
They're like, hey, I'm at Walmart. If I send you $300, will you buy me a gift card?
And more like $1 million they offered me, but
Yeah. They're like,
I
just
was
give me
like,
your bank account.
no.
Pass.
Something is wrong.
Right. Something is wrong, everybody.
I don't even
No.
think it looked like the guy who was claiming to be the profile picture.
Well, they just like steal pictures and then can catfish you. I think someone had Emma Watson friend request them once and was like, I'm broke. I spent all my Harry Potter money. That's too bad. That's too bad you spent all your Harry Potter money.
Poor thing.
So you're going to a con in October and we're
Mhm.
writing more Beacon. When's the next
And
Night
I'm-
Slayer coming?
I'm also going to some Barnes & Noble signing
Ooh,
in
that's super
October
cool.
sometime. I can't remember when.
That's awesome.
For
wish I could
for
get into
Beacon, not for Night Slayers.
For Beacon? That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
So when you
Thank
set
you.
up your table, you have comic book rack. Do you bring both Beacon and Night Slayer? Do you
I'm planning to, yes.
you got merch?
Not yet.
Let's talk about merch, Matthew. What kind of merch are you gonna make?
I don't know. It depends on how popular these are, but I have mugs and what was the other thing? Mugs and t-shirts, I think, available for Beacon on my website, theheartlandbeacon.com.
What? You didn't
But-
tell me you had a website.
But no one buys those, so
The heartlandbeacon.com.
yeah.
It's loading.
Yeah.
Or not. Did I spell Heartland?
H-E-R, I mean, H like heart,
Okay.
landbeacon.com.
Got it.
Or Heartlands Beacon, I can't remember which.
No, you were right the first time. The heartlandbeacon.com. Here we go. Do. I found it. Woo!
Yep, that's it.
Who did the art for this one, by the way? Because it's gorgeous.
It's just basically the cover
Yeah, who did
edited
the art,
that
man?
I put in there, that I shoved in there as a background,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just typed over it.
This is a gorgeous image.
Thanks. I got it from Get Covers, a service that makes covers.
Gotcha. So buy direct, buy from retailer, get the free prequel. YouTube, Facebook, and the Night Slayer. So nice and easy. Let's go look. Let's go buy direct. Oh, I love shops. So we have the paperback, the PDF. Here's the inspirational shirt. What does it say? Be a beacon of light, even on the darkest of days. Let's go look.
Nobody's bought any of that, but yeah.
Ooh, look at all the colors it comes in. Oh, blue shirt. There we go. Maybe a yellow shirt. She'll pop on the yellow. Ooh. That's cool. I would love to know how to set up this t-shirt shop because I have t-shirts I want to put on mine. I want like this is cool. They have Did you have to make all of these graphics separately and then upload them?
No, long story short, I uploaded the Beacon cover, made it, I don't even remember how I made it invisible other than the person part. And then I added text. I really don't remember how I did it.
I'm just curious. All right, it's 19. I see. This is smart. Yeah, I would love to set up a t-shirts like this. Because look, this is the other thing people don't realize is that the price of the shirt does need to change for the size of the shirt. I just did my own t-shirts for the first time on this last campaign. I usually order them, and I usually have them as a flat price, like $20 a t-shirt. But you don't realize that like a medium t-shirt costs this much, and then a 3XL t-shirt costs 3 times as much. And so it's like, I like how you have a range up here where it's like $17.99 and $20.99 depending on the size. That makes more sense to me than just a flat $20. But this is cool. And it has a drop down for, I'm sorry, I'm nerding out over the website. Everybody's like, we don't care, Laurie. But when you have a website, it becomes a chore. I don't know about you, but my website is like the last thing I update. I hate it. I need to spend more time on there. How much time do you spend on your website here, Matthew?
I don't usually even check it anymore. To be honest, very much. What?
I said,
check
see what I
my
mean?
Emails, and that's about it.
Oh, and you have
And
different
how
colors
much
in here,
activity
too.
it's received.
Choose an option. Oh, you have 2 different sizes of the mug. Nice. This is a super friendly website. I can buy 6 15-ounce mugs right now. Add to cart. Here's the taller one. For people that don't have websites, they're a pain in the butt. We'll just say that much.
Oh, I also have one more website you might want to look at.
Oh?
It's called thenightslayers.com.
The Night Slay. Is it with an S?
Yeah.
.com. Let's go look. Heck yeah.
And basically it just tells little prequel stories of other cases they've done.
Oh, cool.
In a blog format.
Yeah, man. I hate writing blogs. Power to you. I hate them.
I hated it too.
You do, but it looks like you've done a lot.
Yeah, I've done 9, I believe.
Wow.
And then I just gave up because the Kickstarter was ready.
Well, and I mean, Kickstarters are a lot of work. Let's see.
Yeah.
About us. Let's click around here. So the website is basically from the Night Slayer's point of view. So it's about us, and it's from their point of view. Interesting. Report a haunting.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
was
Look, it's
proud
filled in
of.
Path Pale Rider. That's hilarious.
What?
How does it know?
Oh, it knows your email address?
I didn't put in my email. I didn't put in anything. It pre-filled Path
Apparently,
of the Pale
this
Rider.
website is haunted.
I'm concerned. It knows who I am. Dun, 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 dun. Can we use your blog in our story in our blog? Yes. You can subscribe. Oh, it does have my email. Back the Kickstarter and a link right there. That's easy. That's great. That's so smart. Very cool. And this is just thenightslayers.com. I'm gonna put both of the links in the chat here if anybody wants to go check them out. Here's this guy. Ooh, here's another good question. Carrie has some good questions. Here's the link to the Beacon website as well, everybody. That's this one right here. This one. Carrie with the questions. She says, okay, now there's multiple platforms for crowdfunding. What made you choose Kickstarter over an Indiegogo or a Fund My Comic?
Honestly, because my business partner knew about Kickstarter more than the others.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I
'Cause
didn't
there's more than
disagree
one
with
party
him.
here, Carrie. He has a business partner that it sounds like he has experience on Kickstarter, so that's probably more of the reasoning why. But have you ever thought about doing any of the other platforms, like a second chance campaign or exclusives on Indiegogo
That
or
would
Fund
be
My Comic?
cool. I'll have to talk with him about it after
Yeah.
we're done with this one.
Some people try to do that. I've run a second chance Indiegogo before. I just basically wanted to see how easy it was to use that platform, what kind of traffic they drive to my campaign, and then how easy it was to fulfill. It was okay. My personal opinion is I think that Kickstarter gets more attention, that their algorithm might show your project to people with similar interests based off of what they're looking at. Indiegogo, I found that people weren't going there unless I was sending them there. So there wasn't any kind of organic refined process. I have not used Fund My Comic yet or Backer Kit. Those are two that I'm not familiar with, but I see a lot of people having success with those. And I've seen people.
Well, I am organically. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You
I
are
am
organically what, Matthew?
I am organically finding bots to comment on my campaign about how much I need their help.
Oh, going back to those scammers. 'Cause stupid bots. Carrie, this second link is for the heartlandbeacon.com. That's for this that's for Matthew's novella called Beacon about a superhero. He has the first story and then the prequel, which you can get for free right here.
You do have to give me your email address, though.
It's pretty. I mean,
Ha 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 ha.
all right, that's perfect. We're gonna play the consequences. That fit perfectly right there. But that's cool. I mean, like people, that's great. You could get a prequel. You can get an inside peek of this world. Read it.
Now, Beacon barely shows up in that story, actually.
Yeah.
But it does tell how she got her powers mainly.
Okay. Which is what I would expect in a book called Origin. An origin
But it
story.
starts before she's even born,
Ugh.
telling the story.
Lou, I think you're right, though. If you build it, the bots will come. Oh my God. There's no avoiding those bots sometimes. They just, my I think like half of my stupid TikTok followers are bots. It's annoying. Pass.
And then when you try to tell them not to talk to you anymore, they want to speak to your task manager.
It's like Karen. They want to speak to your manager. Like, knock it off, guys.
I was just kidding, but yeah.
Honey, your task manager. All right, Matthew, you've been super entertaining, and I'm having a blast. But it's that point of the show where now you get to tell us where people can follow you and your socials. We've dropped your websites and stuff, but tell people where they can follow you and your preferred social media platforms, so that way we're in the know of what you're doing and how things are going.
Well, I have a Facebook page. I have one for myself. I got one for Effing Con. I got one for, well, actually, that's the only one that's still, those are the only two Facebook pages that are still being updated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a YouTube channel called Offer Matthew Kreke. And I think that's it.
All right.
Except for email addresses, but yeah, I don't really feel I'm kind of an introvert. I feel nervous when I try new social media platforms that I have no following with.
Well, I mean, it always takes time to build an audience, so you should never feel bad about I'm hardly ever on X and I'm hardly ever on Threads, so I post stuff every now and again, and it's like it gets some interaction, but not a lot.
Wait,
but
people use Threads?
Yeah. There's people on there. I go on there and
There's
see
been
comments
a lot of
every once in a
ads, but
while.
I've never seen anyone actually say, "Hey, I want to see Threads."
I'm on Threads, but again, it's like I said, I'm hardly ever on there. It's hard. It's hard when there's so many different platforms and there's only so many hours in the day, and when this is a hard thing, Matthew, for me, is that like if I'm promoting, I'm not creating, so it's a balancing act. You know what I mean? How much time do you spend writing versus promoting what you've already written? It's got to be some kind of happy medium, so that way people know that you're creating things and can come support. But when you're doing that, then you're not creating. So I don't know. You feel the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to goof off and play video games or something, and something in the back of my head will go, "You should be working."
Get to work. That's usually me on Facebook. I'm like, hey, you indie creator, get to work. But I'm like, every time someone comments, they're like, "But I have this," and I'm like, "Get to work," and they're like, "But I have this," and I'm like, "Nope, get to work." Someone's like, I actually finished. I'm like, gold star, cookie for you. Now get back to work. That's me. I'm the little voice in your head, Matthew, that says, what are you doing? Get back to work.
As far as what my battery's low.
Oh, okay. Well, we're wrapping up
As
anyway.
for what
So if
Carrie
Matthew-
says, I usually play Nintendo games, but I also like XCOM, Enemy Unknown.
What's that?
Basically, in the not too distant future of 1999, the governments of the world find out flying saucers are real, and the United Nations come together to start a new military program to fight flying saucers. And it's like CES, but with even more rules. It's a turn-based strategy game, is what I'm getting at.
Gotcha.
Where you position your soldiers in certain places and then order them to shoot at aliens in hopes of stealing their technology and reverse engineering it to make even cooler weapons.
So kind of what we do. That's fun. We in real life, never mind. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, thank you again for coming on the show. I had a wonderful time. I'm so glad that we were able to push you over that $200 mark. Thank you, everybody in the chat that showed up and asked questions and engaged and backed this project. I don't know how many times I've said it, but indie creators, this is the most important time for them, is when they run a campaign to make sure that they can continue creating independent stuff. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. Great show. And Lou, thank you again for coming on and participating. We love it. It always makes the show so much more interesting. I'm glad Chad finally took off because, oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. Chad's great too.
I thought you said Sat. I didn't realize you said Sad.
Chad earlier, who was being chaotic. He always, it's fun. It's fun. But he finally took off and got back to work. So good riddance.
Chaotic
Chad.
neutral or chaotic evil?
He's I don't know. He walks that fine line in between those two, Matthew. It depends on how many drinks he's had. All right, everybody. Thank you again. I'll see you next week on the Tuesday Morning Brew. We have more indie creators, artists, writers, and maybe a ventriloquist from time to time. Be excellent to each other. Kiss your babies, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Do you have my espresso bean? How'd you get out of prison? Good lawyer. Enough, Doc. Where's my bean? I don't have it. Jimmy's been kidnapped. Help me, and I'll do anything. What's in it for me? Information about your mother. Detective Mickey Potatoes is back, and this time the stakes are higher than ever. A priceless espresso bean is missing and a life is on the line. Join Mickey in an all-ages noir adventure packed with comedy, suspense, and heart. Support Detective Potatoes, Lord of the Bean on Kickstarter, and unlock exclusive rewards. Books, poker chips, minifigures, and more. Back the campaign today and help bring this thrilling mystery to life. Support independent storytelling. Support Detective Potatoes.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month,